Good morning and welcome to Daily Briefing. I'm Alex.
And I'm Sarah. August 25th, 2026.
Quick check of the weather here in Parker. 58 degrees Fahrenheit and clear skies right now, heading up to a high of 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Low tonight, 58 degrees Fahrenheit. Today we're looking at a major investigation into county prosecutors acting as ICE informants in Illinois, plus a huge escalation in the U.S.-Canada trade war as car tariffs double.
That local prosecutor story is wild. Let's get into it.
All right, turning to U.S. news. Wired just dropped a massive investigation revealing that local county prosecutors in Illinois have been secretly collaborating with federal immigration authorities.
Wait, so local prosecutors were actively feeding information to federal agents?
Exactly. They were essentially acting as informants against undocumented migrants.
But Illinois has strict local sanctuary policies specifically designed to protect asylum seekers. How are they getting around that?
They were quietly bypassing those protections by directly coordinating with federal officers behind closed doors, completely undermining the state and local rules.
That completely breaks the trust people are supposed to have in the local justice system. If asylum seekers think talking to a prosecutor leads straight to deportation, nobody comes forward as a witness or a victim.
And that's the thing. It completely destabilizes local public safety when people become terrified of their own local courthouse.
Coming up, we turn to global affairs, starting with new developments out of Ukraine and Russia.
Moving on to global news. Britain announced it is going to help Kyiv manufacture Storm Shadow missiles directly inside Ukraine.
Direct domestic production of long-range missiles is a massive shift. But Russia didn't take long to respond, right?
Not all. Just hours after the announcement, the Kremlin publicly declared that Russian forces are already actively working to locate and target those planned production facilities.
So it is a race between getting the manufacturing lines set up and Russian intelligence trying to pinpoint the exact locations to strike them.
Precisely. Meanwhile, in cyber espionage news, security researchers at Seekright Labs uncovered a campaign dubbed Operation Quicksilver.
Who was targeted in that one?
It hit the Myanmar government and local IT infrastructure. The attackers used fake invitation lures to drop a Go-based backdoor called Quick Agent.
And who is behind it?
Seekright Labs attributes the espionage campaign to a suspected Chinese state-aligned threat group.
Cyber intelligence operations in that region are getting remarkably persistent.
Switching to global financial enforcement, the U.S. Treasury Department just expanded sanctions targeting Iran's digital asset ecosystem.
What specific transactions triggered this action?
The Treasury alleges a UAE-based broker facilitated over $100 million in illicit oil payments using cryptocurrency.
So foreign nations are explicitly leaning on crypto to bypass international trade sanctions and move oil money around the globe.
Exactly. And Washington is trying to aggressively choke off those digital financial avenues.
Speaking of major enforcement policy shifts, the Trump administration announced plans to revoke the B-1 and B-2 visitor visas of around 200,000 asylum seekers currently in the U.S.
200,000 people? That is a massive administrative pullback for foreign nationals who are literally awaiting legal processing.
Right. It represents a huge escalation in administrative enforcement, throwing hundreds of thousands of active immigration cases into total limbo.
Let's keep moving to news out of India and Tamil Nadu.
India's Defense Minister Rajnath Singh has officially cleared the transfer of DRDO missile technologies over to private Indian defense companies.
That is a major push to accelerate domestic manufacturing and cut down on foreign military imports.
Meanwhile, in domestic politics, the Supreme Court of India issued notices to 20 rebel MPs following an anti-defection and disqualification plea filed by the Trinamool Congress leadership.
If those 20 MPs are disqualified, it completely alters the political math and parliamentary representation for the party.
And in consumer safety out of Karnataka, State authorities just suspended the food operating licenses of major quick commerce platforms including Swiggy, Instamart, and Big Basket.
Why take down our licenses?
They were caught selling toxic datura plants online. The state is cracking down hard on unauthorized digital sales of dangerous plants.
When we come back, we will look at markets, starting with a massive escalation in auto tariffs between the U.S. and Canada. Let's talk markets. U.S. President Donald Trump announced plans to double tariffs on Canadian-built automobiles, trucks, and auto parts from 25% all the way up to 50%.
50% tariffs on cars and auto parts? That is a staggering jump.
It ramps up the trade war with Canada to a level we haven't seen in decades.
Think about the supply chains for modern vehicles. Parts cross the U.S.-Canada border multiple times before a car is finished. A 50% tariff hits consumers straight in the pocketbook.
It is going to force a massive recalculation for domestic and international automakers operating in North America.
Well, while trade wars are brewing, Bitcoin just blew past $80,000.
I saw that. What is driving this current rally?
It is mostly a combination of a softening U.S. dollar and persistent fears over fiat currency debasement.
So investors are actively running toward digital assets as a primary hedge against inflation right now.
Exactly. And institutional investors are driving a ton of that volume. Look at the U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs. They just added $338 million in a single day.
That brings their continuous buying streak to 6 straight days, adding $2.26 billion total over that window.
That influx of institutional capital has dramatically erased most of the net outflows we saw earlier in the year.
Though not everything in the crypto market is institutional sunshine. A Las Vegas businessman was just convicted in federal court over a $24 million crypto Ponzi scheme.
How did he lure people in?
He claimed he was building an AI supercomputer to generate massive investment returns.
Misusing the AI narrative to sell a fake crypto fund, that is the classic 2026 scam formula.
It really is. Federal regulators are making an example of him to show they are watching tech-hyped investment fraud.
Meanwhile, real institutional integration is moving forward fast. Franklin Templeton partnered with HashKey to roll out a U.S. dollar-backed tokenized money market fund in Asian capital markets.
That shows real-world asset tokenization isn't just a pilot project anymore. Global asset managers are putting major capital on enterprise and public blockchains.
Coinbase is pushing into that same space. They just launched tokenized stock trading directly on their Ethereum Layer 2 network, Base.
So users can trade actual legacy public equities on-chain 24/7?
Precisely. It ramps up the competition to migrate traditional Wall Street securities onto blockchain rails.
Coming up, critical zero-day flaws hit major enterprise tools, and the FDA approves a revolutionary blood test for Alzheimer's. On the tech side, we have a series of urgent cybersecurity alerts that everyone in enterprise IT needs to jump on immediately.
First up is Oracle WebLogic. What did CISA issue?
CISA added a max severity vulnerability to its known exploited vulnerabilities catalog. It is tracked as CVE 2026-21962.
A 10 out of 10 severity?
Yes, it allows remote, unauthenticated attackers to steal sensitive corporate data directly over network interfaces without needing any login credentials.
That is a nightmare for enterprise admins. And there is another critical flaw in Keycloak, right?
Red Hat released an urgent security patch for Keycloak, the open-source identity manager. It is rated 9.1 out of 10.
How does the exploit work?
Unauthenticated remote attackers can exploit the password reset function to instantly take over any corporate account on the network.
If your business relies on Keycloak for identity and access management, you need to patch that baseline right now.
And if you run WordPress, check your plugins. Attackers are actively targeting authentication bypass flaws in the mini orange AML 2.0 single sign-on plugin.
Let me guess. Unauthenticated remote admin access?
Complete administrative control over the entire website. If you run Mini Orange, update it immediately.
On the software privacy side, security researchers found something pretty disturbing built directly into Microsoft Windows.
What did they find in MS Paint and Photos?
Analysis revealed that Microsoft Paint and Photos silently embed a unique GUID watermark directly into locally saved media files. Wait, so even if I create or edit an image completely offline on my own computer, Paint stamps an invisible unique tracking code into the file?
Yes, it creates a major privacy concern around metadata leakage and file tracking without any user knowledge or consent.
That is going to cause a massive backlash from privacy advocates. Switching over to medical breakthroughs, the FDA just approved a new blood test for diagnosing Alzheimer's disease.
That is huge. Right now, getting an accurate Alzheimer's diagnosis usually involves invasive spinal taps or expensive brain scans.
Exactly.
A simple blood test makes early detection dramatically more accessible, which means patients can start early treatment planning much faster.
In aerospace tech, researchers used artificial intelligence to discover 6 brand new ways to 3D print rocket-grade alloy.
And the wild part is they did it using standard, commercial, off-the-shelf 3D printers.
That could completely change the economics of space exploration. Printing high-stress aerospace components without multi-million-dollar specialized hardware drops manufacturing costs through the floor.
Speaking of space exploration, NASA unveiled details for its 2028 Mars mission.
They're sending a spacecraft powered by an actual nuclear reactor out to the Red Planet.
A nuclear reactor on Mars?
Yes, along with 3 smaller probe units. The nuclear reactor gives the mission massive, continuous power for long-duration surface science that solar panels just can't match.
Coming up, we have alarming health data on NFL players, a historic golf payday, and major shakeups in entertainment.
Wrapping up with sports and culture, a major medical study just published some truly alarming findings regarding professional football players.
The numbers on brain disease in former NFL players are shocking.
The study found that at least 1 in 4 former NFL players develops degenerative brain disease caused by repetitive head trauma.
25% of players. That puts an intense spotlight back on head injury protocols, youth football safety, and the long-term reality of playing in the NFL.
Moving over to golf, Scottie Scheffler just capped off an unbelievable season by winning the 2026 FedEx Cup title.
And he took home a eye-popping paycheck for it.
He scored a $23 million bonus payout out of the total $100 million prize pool.
$23 million for one tournament win. That is easily one of the single biggest individual earnings days in professional golf history.
Turning to the box office, Spider-Man, Brand New Day, is turning into an absolute commercial behemoth.
It is officially on track to sink Titanic from the top 5 highest-grossing movies of all time.
Pushing Titanic out of the top 5 shows the sheer global commercial dominance of the Marvel franchise right now.
And finally, in television news, HBO made a massive casting swap for its upcoming high-profile Harry Potter series.
Who got swapped out?
Kit Harington has officially been cast to replace Nicholas Hoult in the series.
Swapping Nicholas Hoult for Kit Harington is a massive statement move for HBO as they build out their flagship fantasy reboot.
That is going to get fans talking for weeks.
From local legal battles to high-stakes trade policy and space reactors, rapid changes are reshaping how we build, trade, and govern.
Thanks for listening to Daily Briefing. We'll see you tomorrow.
Take care, everyone.